All right, so a bit of a quick breakdown here. We got to see some Justin Fields, just one drive, but I thought we saw a couple of interesting things, so wanted to make a quick video talking about him and what he was able to do. First, this play, which, when I first saw this play, I was like, oh, hey, this is cool to see. I like to see the stuff from Fields, where you're going to have a blitz coming by Seattle. Look at how the linebacker is going to get through relatively untouched. A halfback tried to block him, failed. Fields is in trouble. And what's the thing that we always criticize Fields for? He doesn't know when to just call a play dead. That's a big issue that we've seen from him in college. It was an issue last year with Chicago. It's not going to be an issue here. I think he reads this play well and says, okay, let's minimize damage here. Let's not try to make something good happen. We're in minimizing damage mode here. Watch him put the ball in a place where, it could have been complete, and maybe some people would have rather him just completely thrown the ball away regardless, but either way, it's a massive step up from what we've seen him do in the past, which is try to break out of a tackle or throw it with his left hand, with his, blindfolded, whatever, all that crazy stuff that he has done over the course of his career. Nope, making a much smarter decision. But then this play would happen, which would kind of make me feel like, oh, okay, maybe he's getting better at it, but it's not a finished product just yet, because this was not an ideal situation for him. It's a zone coverage play, and you're going to see why he does what he does, but there's just a little bit of that over-aggressiveness with Fields that sometimes comes in handy, sometimes really works out, and sometimes doesn't work out. It goes both ways. So Fields takes the snap, and as you notice right here, the two linebackers over the middle of the field spread out pretty far, because one thing worth noting is there was a blitz here as well, meaning that there's now one less player over the middle, and with them spread out even further, there is a way that Fields can use his legs to pick up this first down. The issue, though, is if you're going to use your legs, how are you going to do it? I mean, you look at where he's at right now, which gaps should he run through? How does he get past the first down marker? There really isn't a clear lane, and this is kind of why I think, this is maybe part of the issue, is you could have potentially looked and saw a better lane, but at the same time, you don't have forever back there. I can't see what's going on past the first down marker too much because the camera is cropped. We don't have all 22 footage. We're dealing with broadcast footage. So while I could sit here and say, okay, this is clearly something that, is an issue, I actually don't know if it is. This might actually be the smart read. And I would say that if there is no one open down the field, I don't hate this decision at all, and probably would recommend this decision by Fields to just try to use your legs because, you have that ability. Use that. However, about one step in, he quickly realizes this is not going over too well. You see, I paused it right here. If at any point your hand is about to touch your foot, you're probably in a tough spot because he stepped up in the pocket, quickly realized that he just does not have room there, which I would have liked to see him maybe find a better gap to go through. But okay, fine, whatever. You put yourself in a situation. I'm nitpicking. I get to pause it and look at all this stuff. He has to figure it out in real time, so I get it. I don't really have a massive issue with anything he's done so far. My real issue is going to be what he's going to do from this point forward. Because at this point, you're in a bad spot. You want to try to figure something out. I get it. I don't think you should just go down necessarily. However, watch him just completely fight, and he's going to dive to really get back to the line of scrimmage, which was 3 yards short of the first down marker, and lost the football after he was down. So, listen, it wasn't a fumble because he was already down, but, that could have been a fumble, and you just don't want to reach the ball out when you're that far away from the first down marker. So this is kind of one of those, never say die attitude type of plays when sometimes you got to just run forward, and if you don't get the first down, you don't get the first down. I don't love reaching the ball out, a lot of times just in general, especially not towards the goal line. I think that, keep the ball secure unless it's a very important first down. This first down was important enough, but you just weren't, you were just in a situation where you weren't close enough to the first down marker. You got to know where you are on the field, so it's a mistake. Now, again, to me, I still think that seeing this is positive from Fields. I'm happy with the fact that I saw that first play, and this play is nowhere near as bad as what we've seen, especially in college. I didn't think he was horrible last year with the Bears, but in college, he had some real head scratchers. This isn't a head scratcher. I get what he was trying to do, but just something he's got to still work on cleaning up. And finally, for the rest of what we saw from Fields, it was largely just stuff like this, which is simple stuff, but good stuff, in my opinion, where it's going to end up being a cover 3 zone, and I still stand by. I've always maintained this with Fields, even though I didn't love him coming out of college, as I always maintained, you put him in a good situation, he will do well, and you still see that, where it's little zone buster against this type of coverage. So good concept as kind of the route that's going to start off all the way, with tight end on the right side of the offense, going to go over to the left side of the offense. That can often get open. These routes work very well against cover 3. Watch how Fields is going to run the play action. He is then going to roll out, and, I'm pausing it right here. All day to throw, so this is good. You want to do this more. Matt Nagy hated these plays. I imagine we'll see more of these this year. And as you see, he's going to be able to hit an open receiver, and they pick up some yards there. So again, is that a high degree of difficulty play? No. But Fields is the kind of guy who can run an offense well, and I think you put him in a better situation than Chicago has been, and I think we will see some positives. So yeah, I mean, listen, as a whole, listen, I just don't know if there was ever going to be a situation where Justin Fields was going to have a preseason drive that made me say, guess he's perfect, guess he's fixed. Fields is actually the best quarterback of all time. That seems like that was never going to realistically happen, but that's not what we're expecting to happen. What we're hoping for is just small things that let us feel like after having an entire offseason to work on his issues are starting to get better. And, we saw flashes of that in the small sample size that we saw from him. And that's all you're hoping for. That, he's learning from his mistakes. Still, I didn't love that diving for the first down marker when you're 3 yards short of the first down. I didn't love it. But again, it's always easier to say that when you're a YouTuber who just, sits on a chair and watches football. When you're actually in the situation, it's obviously a lot more difficult than when I'm breaking it down. I do get it. It's just something that, it's unfair for a young guy like Fields, but, Aaron Rodgers doesn't make that mistake, right? Or at least doesn't make that mistake very often. And if you're going to try to be, one of the game's best, that's who you're competing against. You're competing against Aaron Rodgers. You're competing against Patrick Mahomes, who, Mahomes will get himself in trouble with that too. So it's not the end of the world if you can make the good outweigh that. But, I think so far what we saw of him last season was someone who I think that when things went well, it was good, and we've still seen that. I still maintain, I think when things go well, he is good. And some people might say, isn't that every quarterback? Really, no, it's not every quarterback. You think it would be, but a lot of quarterbacks are there for what they do above and beyond when things go well. Fields is someone who I think it was drafted and was hyped up because of what he can do when things go poorly, and maybe hasn't lived up to that hype yet, but to me, he has met the expectations of being a game manager, and so we're just hoping that the other stuff can sort of work itself out, which there absolutely is potential for it to work itself out. So, again, it's very interesting with Fields. I don't know if we learned a ton, but maybe a little things saw him get a little bit better, and still something he has to work on. So, again, small sample size breakdown, but what did you guys think of it? It went way longer than I thought it was. I thought it was going to be like 2 minutes in and out, but Justin Fields, always an interesting guy to talk about. What did you think about his preseason performance? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.